says a recent poll suggests that 47% of American citizens are going to vote for the Democratic candidate for president, with a margin of error of plus or minus 4.5%. Set up and solve an absolute value inequality to determine the range of possible percentages the candidate could earn. Based on your answer, can you determine if the Democratic candidate will win the election? Why or why not? So let's set up our formula, which is the actual minus the ideal amount, and it's the absolute value of that is less than or equal to our tolerance. So in this case, the actual that we know the poll suggests was the 47%. We don't know the ideal, but we would think that that would be greater than 50%, but we don't know for sure. So then plus or minus 4.5% is certainly going to be our tolerance. From there, we need to set up two inequalities to figure out both values we're looking for. So 47 minus x is less than or equal to 4.5, and 47 minus x would be greater than or equal to negative 4.5. All right, so if we subtract 47, we get negative x is less than or equal to negative 42.5. And then if we divide by negative 1, we end up with x is greater than or equal to positive 42.5. So that's one side of our range of values for his outcome. And if we subtract 47 over here on the right, we get negative x is greater than or equal to negative 51.5, and then divide by negative 1. So x would be less than or equal to positive 51.5. And then putting that all together into our compound inequality. So when they ask you for that compound inequality, they mean to put these together and say x is greater than or equal to the 42.5 and less than or equal to the 51.5. So that's compound inequality when they say that. And then we need to answer the question. So based on your answer, can you determine if the Democratic candidate will win the election? Why or why not? So it's kind of a two-part answer there. We can't determine if he's going to win. So let's say, no, we cannot determine if the candidate will win. But there's something we can figure out is he's not likely to win, because to win, someone would need between 51% up to 100% of the votes. And so being only that his highest value is at 51.5, there's just not much wiggle room there even above the 50% mark, but it is possible. So I would say we can't determine that, but if they are saying whether or not this candidate is likely to win, I would say they are not likely. But that's about it for example 12.